And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Lads, I don't know what film you were watching, but it wasn't the same film I saw.
I'm all the man you need, Mark.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked and appalled.
So I'll bring it up, Ted.
It wasn't a very good movie. I laughed at it more than I laughed at The Possession.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 10. The original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me is a man who is busy on Twitter this week, being unnecessarily outraged at people being shocked and appalled about stuff. It's Mike McDonough.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Live from Vegas, we have a man who says the best way to reduce stress in your life is to be wealthy and attractive. It's Sean Leonard.
It does help.
And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who says at this stage in his life, good in bed means not snoring or stealing the sheets. It's Mark Superhero Leonard. Mark, do you still snore?
I just like the way you make a mockery of my age and my relationship.
But tell me, do you enjoy snoring still?
Lying on my back and snoring is my favourite thing to do right now.
Total snoregasm. Yeah, class.
Oh, God.
So this week we'll be discussing the movie Bloodsucking Bastards and some TV in the form of Witnesses and Hand of God. We'll also have some news and some previews and come to a bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic.
Do you ever think like your kid is taking the piss out of you?
Oh, yeah, for the last 16 years.
That's good then, because I think I'm about to join that club. So we've got a master plan for my kid Avery, right? Mm-hmm. Where when he's should be sleeping but isn't, we give him the dummy and ignore him. Mm-hmm. Usually he sleeps. And it's a pretty flawless system because the beauty of it is that it takes so little effort from us. But we've discovered recently that there is a terrible and somewhat glaring, though we originally didn't see it, flaw to this plan. Young babies struggle to put themselves back to sleep, presumably because they're too young to think about girls' boobs for anything other than food. So he'll wake up in the middle of the night, he'll have lost the dummy at some point, and he won't be able to go back to sleep without it. So someone needs to get up, find the dummy in the dark, because you don't turn on the light on a nearly sleeping baby, and put it back in his mouth. And like, that'd be fine if that was like once. Mm-hmm. But it's like clusters of 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
3 times a night. So now we have a rota. So tonight I'm off. So I can just rock this podcast without a care in the world. But last night, let me tell you, by the time morning came, I was a broken shell of a man because and I discovered how important the unit of measure is in discussions with your wife. Because she said, well, it wasn't too bad last night. Sure, didn't he only wake 3 times? And I went, 3 times? He woke like 16,000 times. So no, he woke at, and she knew the times because mothers have this figured out. I never know what time it is if it's dark. I just know it's nighttime. And I was going, no, there was about 4 times, and then he slept for a while, then there was like 6 times, and he said, no, but they're all one time. You don't count every time you put the dummy in. And I went, well, we should. Anyway, to make a long story short, it's not my problem again until Wednesday night.
Nice.
So I'm available to talk for hours right now.
Well, if I were you, I'd be getting the sleep in. I'd be banking that sleep.
You can't bank sleep.
Banking.
That's myth.
It's not how that works.
You
There's
can't
no harm
save
in
up
trying.
sleep, and you can't catch up on sleep.
You can recover though, can't you?
No, you can get say you only had like 4 hours sleep, right?
Right.
And you're really tired the following day.
Yeah.
You don't need to then add the 4 you missed to the 8 that night and sleep 12, because you don't need to do that. The 8 will do you just fine.
It's not for me.
12 feels better though.
Yeah.
You probably will feel better after 12 hours because you've like done nothing for 12 hours and you wake up and go, I bet I snored like a bastard.
That was fucking great.
Yeah, but no, you don't need to.
No.
Oh.
Did you know it, Mark?
There you go.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a kid story as well this
Oh,
week.
do you?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Uh,
For Jesus Christ.
fucking kids.
It's
Jesus.
like going to a breastfeeding class or meeting or something.
Lamars.
Actually, is there a breastfeeding class? Is there?
I don't need to.
They'd be really
They might be teaching that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Got to work on your technique.
Go on, quick. Go on.
The young lad does Spanish at school
Oh, yeah.
and has done
He
for the last 4 years without too much interest expressed.
Yeah.
You know, he just goes through the motions. It's not okay. He's not bad at it. But
Yeah.
he'd never had any interest in it. And then last week he discovered Narcos.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have imagined that such a horrible show would have an educational value? He's now obsessed with Spanish and learning how to say cold-blooded boss shit in Spanish.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. So
Yeah.
cool.
So, to the makers of Narcos, congratulations. You've generated interest in the next generation.
So that's why he was out of the dictionary yesterday with
That's
plomo.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, what's plomo mean? Lead.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah, and he's all like, did you know this is really fucking offensive in Latin America?
So he's been watching that. Have you finished the series yet?
No, I think he's up to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
He's way ahead of me.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Basically, I'm not allowed anywhere.
All right, okay.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
In case you're getting
Watch
any
Narcos.
ideas. Yeah. What else did you see this week, Mike?
What else did I see? Saw the end of Dark Matter,
Oh, yeah.
which has kept me company all through this long summer.
Oh, yeah.
Went to the Space Fix each week.
Yeah.
The ending it wasn't a great season finale, but it was a little bit of, ooh.
All right.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Was it a
I
great
liked
season,
it. They
though?
kept me guessing the whole way through.
Yeah, in fairness, they did set up the kind of whodunit quite well.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it up there, like, with other sci-fi shows? Like, is it something you'd recommend? Or is it sort of Firefly-ish, kind of middle of the roady?
That's not what Firefly...
Fuck
I'm
you.
not going to get into it.
Take that back.
And you're not going to rise out of you.
No, I think it's a decent show. It's not going to be remembered in 20 years. But,
Yeah.
It got me through a lot of Monday nights this summer.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Okay.
like in the absence of Battlestar Galactica or anything.
Okay. Visual chewing gum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Okay.
I will say it's better than Z Nation. Like it's got an amount of art to it and plotting and character that you wouldn't get. It's not just like Drek, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they put a lot of effort in their final scene of this season was like it had been set up from first scene of first episode ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very much look at how everything has changed, even though all these characters are in the same position.
Yeah.
So I thought they did a great job.
Would you agree, Sean, that it probably also attracts, a more discerning, properly intelligent viewership than Z Nation?
Probably a more handsome, intelligent viewership. Yeah, I believe that to be the case.
So, speaking of Z Nation. Yeah, so I went ahead, for the podcast, and watched episode 1 of season 2, you bastards. Of Z Nation. Yeah, I didn't finish the last season, but I wanted to dip back in just to see what's going on. And so they still have the dude, who's immune to zombies.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. He's got a cool little trick now in that he can control zombies.
Oh.
Yeah, so he likes to go shopping and uses them like as hat stands and stuff like that. Goes into department store. So that's kind of funny. He's the comedy relief. But there's been a lot of nukes launched as well.
Oh.
And they just happen to be in pockets where they haven't landed, but they've been landing all around them. So they're all fecked from radiation anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're making the effort to get your man across to California.
So there's no wind in future
zombie
America.
You know what? There's no win in this. There's no win. Yeah. They're all fecked. Yeah. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Let's see how many seasons they get out of it. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah. What else was on this week?
Oh, I also got to see No Escape with Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
This was a surprising little nugget.
No Escape.
Yeah. It looked like total shit.
Yeah, it did.
But I said, this could be my kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I went along and had a look.
Tell us, what's it about? What's the premise?
That's tough to say because they don't really give you one.
From what I gathered, right, is there's a disaster or an uprising or a coup or something, and
there's a coup.
They're Americans stuck in a country that they don't want to be Americans in.
Yeah. It's not a good place to be American.
And then it's like a chasey movie to get out of there.
Yeah, there's a lot of chasing and jumping and screaming and shooting.
Okay.
So they don't tell you what country it is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you why there is political problems.
Oh, but it's Panama, is it?
No. I think it's thinly disguised as somewhere in Southeast Asia, Cambodia.
Oh, is it?
Or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they actually banned the movie in Cambodia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were using upside down Khmer letters in some of the signs and stuff. But that said, it's actually really, really well done. The pacing of it and the action is brilliant. You know, despite the complete lack of any kind of mental aspect to it. You know?
Yeah.
Like the plot is really simple. You know, they're stuck in a hotel. They're in trouble. People want to kill them. Jesus, we better get the fuck out of here. And that's all there is to it.
Oh.
Except for, what's his name?
Owen Wilson.
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, he shows up, give them a little helping hand here and there.
Yeah.
And that's it, but it's just really nicely done. Like, there's a lot of action movies with the same kind of idea, but they spend so much time on fucking backstory that nobody cares about. Stuff like that. They just get straight to it. You know, we know what we want to do, and this is what we're giving you.
Okay.
And Owen Wilson, very strange. Like, for a guy who just does comedies, he wasn't bad at all.
Really?
You know, he was kind of doing a little bit of funny stuff at the beginning and end.
Yeah.
But in the middle, he was just your average Joe. You know, he's not some ex-Marine that's topping people left, right, and centre or whatever. He's you can identify with him because he
hasn't got skills.
Yeah, he's no skills at all. He's a bit shit. Like, like I was thinking this would be a totally different movie if The Rock was in it. Just imagine, like, there's one scene where he has to make this big jump.
Yeah.
And he makes it, but he kind of fucks up the landing a bit, you know. It's a bit of an owie, you know.
He twists his ankle.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, if The Rock had done that jump, you know, he would have gracefully landed into a combat role and then come up, you know, and pulled off a couple of headshots from 50 yards before he stood up.
Right, yeah. So what would you give it? What would you give it out of 10?
Jesus, I'd probably go as far as a 7.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a decent, entertaining movie.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely leave the brain at the door. Like,
Yeah.
You know, you don't want that interfering with your enjoyment.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Cool. Sounds good. Sean, did you see anything this week? Documentary?
I did indeed.
Yeah?
Documentary called Meru.
Meru?
Actually, Meru. It's the name of a mountain. I also actually have to give a shout out to a new listener we have, Rachel, who should be very, very, she should feel silly she did not come and see it. This is an excellent film.
Rachel, you're silly.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's called Meru. It's about this mountain that's never been climbed.
Yeah.
And they spend, like, the movie is basically about these 3 people who are going to try and climb it.
Yeah.
There's basically the best, world-recognized best mountain climber in America, or not in America, basically the world. His name is Conrad Anker. He's done Everest loads of times and a bunch of other more difficult climbs as well. A dude called Jimmy Chin, who is a mountaineering guy, a skiing guy, a photographer, artist. And this newbie called Renan, who is, you know, he seems quite competent, but he's also the least experienced of the 3 of them. And they basically go, listen, let's climb this mountain, which is not much of a plot.
Right.
Yeah.
However, the way that they tell the story is they show them, like, this is one of these mountains. It's not like you climb up with other people. This is a mountain that you climb with every piece of gear you're going to need for the whole climb on your back. You sleep in a tent that you have to attach to the mountain face because it's completely vertical.
Oh.
Yeah. If any mistakes will kill all 3 of these guys. They have to climb on ice. They have to climb on rock. They have to climb with their hands. They have to use every tool imaginable. It's very clear that this is a really shit thing. So it starts happening, and every now and then it goes back and tells you more about these guys' lives, you know? So you start to care about them more and more. And then it gets to the point where a storm comes in, and they start to run out of food. And you realize, holy shit, like, this might be one of those movies. This might be one of those movies where not everybody makes it out okay.
And how is it filmed? Did they bring cameras with them, or?
So the artist guy, Jimmy, he had GoPros on everyone's helmets and inside the tent.
Right.
So pretty much 90% of the footage is just them climbing.
Oh,
And then it's interspliced with confessionals. They have an expert who talks about it, who personally knows these three dudes. They do interviews with the guys who they can talk to. But the real thing is that it's not why. It's not about why these people climb mountains in general. It's about why they have to climb this specific one. And they make you believe. They make you believe that they have to climb this, even though they're risking their lives and their family's well-being.
Okay, so you don't sit there the whole movie going, why the fuck are you doing this?
Yeah, that's what I was worried I was going to be doing throughout. But I actually went, no, I believe they have to climb this. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
They don't just try it once.
Okay.
What?
Things go wrong. And then you were left in the middle of the movie going, oh, that was pretty short. Like, geez, I wonder what's going to happen. And then things go way, way worse for a lot of them really quickly. And then you go, right, well, Jesus, they're never going to be the same. And then the wheels start turning and you go, holy shit, they're not going to try this again.
Wow. Is that,
it's a really good doc.
When was this made?
It was just released last weekend.
Oh, wow. And Maru, where is Maru?
India, I think, or near enough India you can bus out there. Well, and then climb.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So recommend it?
Highly recommend it.
Okay, look out for that.
Must I give that a look? Yep. Cool. I watched the first episode and second episode of season 2 of Bron Bron. Remember the bridge, the original?
Oh, yeah. So, it's Bridge?
Bridge. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's class.
Yeah.
It's straight back into it,
Yeah.
you know.
Is it your one again? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's back in it.
Yeah,
she's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
and she's very entertaining. Just, I don't know, what is it? Is it Asperger's or something?
Yeah, she's odd.
Yeah, she's got, not odd. She's sort of got, I don't know, a reduced,
social capacity.
Emotional capacity, I'd say, nearly. Rather. Well, social as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that leads to very funny scenes,
Yeah.
of course. But anyway, she teams up the same Danish guy again.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a plague this time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
A plague on the bridge.
What happened was a ship goes steaming across and crashes into the bridge.
Ah, okay.
And there's only 4 or 5 people on board and they're tied up.
Okay.
And they all look a bit sick.
Right.
And anyway, some of them start to die and they figure out, oh, they've got this thing.
Okay.
Plague thing. But there's no one else on board and so they're trying to find out who did it. It's some group, you know, anarchist type group has done it. So obviously with large resources.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's great. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah. What else was there on this week? Oh, Mark, did you see the Ultimate Fighter, the episode 1?
I sure did. Well, I've seen most of it.
What you think of it?
Oh, it's a good start. There's a lot of good contestants there. I think there's going to be a lot of good fights.
Yeah.
McGregor's quite different, isn't he, when he's not preparing for a fight?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because you wonder now so the only thing of note that happened that I've seen so far now, and not to the end of the episode, don't forget, was that a guy dislocated his shoulder twice during the fight and was able to put it back in. Then the third time, he couldn't quite get it back in and he had to verbally tap out.
Yeah.
So he seemed to have an ill-equipped skeleton for mixed martial arts, to be honest. But then Uriah just commented, just off the cuff, I could beat this guy, meaning Connor, with one arm. And McGregor completely went off his fucking rocker, like. He was like, just because the UFC won't feed you to me yet, doesn't mean we can't figure it out for ourselves. We're on the Ultimate Fighter, yeah. We can just have a fight, yeah. We can do a catch weight, yeah. And he's getting more and more riled up. And Faber was just here going, this is so easy. I'm going to fucking wind this guy up like a spring for the whole season. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the middle, Dana sat uncomfortably.
Uncomfortably sniggering, but not trying to intervene. You know that.
Deliberately staying the hell away from him.
Yeah, I'm not taking sides here. You know, he didn't even comment that much actually on the fights that happened. He sort of let the
No.
lads go on, you know.
He just left them to it for the most part.
Yeah. There were a couple of Irish guys in there.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? I saw Artem fight. Was there another?
Actually, maybe it was Artem that I'm thinking of. Actually,
Yeah.
Maybe not 2, 1. Yeah. And there were some great fights actually in it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a good season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Much like the start of a sitcom, I think McGregor's trying to figure out what his character should be for this particular aspect of the game.
Right.
Because he can do the whole, I'm going to fight you and hammer you, but that doesn't work when you're not going to fight the person. You have to kind of bring something else. So, but yeah, it should be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting.
Oh, speaking of fighting, I got to see Floyd Mayweather's last foray into the ring.
That was the last one, was it?
Yeah, against Andre Berto.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he announced at the end of it that that's it, he's done.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was kind of mixed feelings. I'm kind of sad to see him go. But
So unbeaten.
yeah, 49-0.
Wow.
He matched Rocky Marciano.
How much did he earn in this one?
This was a halfpenny place compared to the Pacquiao fight.
Just
It's barely 100 million.
barely
I think,
100 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hardly cover his expenses for a month, you know.
Yeah. I think he's the mortgage paid at this stage anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the other poor bastard only got about 5 million, you know. It was
Oh, really?
totally unfair, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, in fairness to him, he's still got it. Like, you know, he's just streets ahead of everybody else.
Right.
Your man barely put a hand on him until about the 7th round. You know,
Right.
It was just embarrassing how slick the bastard is, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be a while before we see his like again, I think.
Wow. Yeah. So now the belts. What happens with them?
Oh, there's going to be unification fights, I'd say.
Between because he's in several.
He had all 3
Yeah.
big ones, and then he had to give up one of them because he couldn't be arsed paying the admin fee to keep it.
Yeah.
But he still had 2 at the point of retirement, so those 2 will be up for grabs. So I'm sure the top 10 will slug it out amongst themselves for it.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Anything else you see this week, Mark? You want to comment on?
So there's a band
Yeah.
very close to my heart called U2.
Oh yeah. I've heard.
Who are
of it.
putting on some gigs in Ireland.
Yeah.
Actually, around the time of my birthday, as luck would have it.
Oh.
And as many people know, I used to be a software engineer until I went into management and became a pretengineer, which is what I am now. So I've got a couple of tricks for sliding on through Ticketmaster and getting myself to the front of the queue. So there I was at 9 o'clock on Monday morning with several different browsers open across several different versions of the Ticketmaster website across several different computers. And I queued and I watched the swirly gig swirl to show that it was queuing, and, you know, any minute now those tickets will be yours. And not one standing ticket was I offered. But I did get really good at entering CAPTCHA phrases. So, apparently the tickets are ridiculously expensive, is the other thing. It's going to cost you nearly 300 sterling for 2 tickets.
What?
Jesus.
What?
Yeah, 300 British pounds.
Standing tickets.
To see
Tickets.
Wow.
to see a bunch of pensioners like
Well, to see the greatest rock band in the world, without whom the world would be much darker, less fun place.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry to piss on
You
your
don't have to be
heroes.
sorry, like. Sure, Jesus, didn't they write Sunday Bloody Sunday for the likes of you?
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. It was great. 35 years ago, it was number 1, like, in the charts. Yeah. That's when we had charts and vinyl.
Top of the pops. Yep.
When men were men and women were too.
So the
anyway,
bottom line is you didn't get your hands on any. I heard they sold out. Yeah, pretty quickly.
Didn't get any, but
Yeah.
so they're playing in Dublin on the Monday and the Tuesday and the Friday and the Saturday. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but surely that leaves room for extra dates.
Yeah. I thought there were
So
6 shows.
I'm presuming extra dates will be released, and even if they're not, there's always tickets for gigs like this available.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go looking. So if I'm determined to spend the guts of €400 to go and see this greatest band in the world in the history of time, then I'm sure somebody will give me that option.
Very good. Okay, let's go to the news.
Oh yeah, we're doing a podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, yeah. So, I've only 2 bits. So, feel free to jump in if you've more.
Okay.
Mike will be delighted.
Mm-hmm.
Disney
Yeah.
are going to remake Mary Poppins. Or not even remake, it'll be a sequel, I think, set 20 years afterwards. It might be a remake, but it's set 20 years afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah. So around 1985.
Strangely enough, I didn't hate that movie as much as you might expect it.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah. It got me through a lot of grim afternoons with a 2-year-old kid.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah.
So I have a certain amount of gratitude towards that movie.
Yeah. So I just wonder, will there be animated dancing penguins as well, or will all the fan favourites be there? And
oh, I'm sure they have to. Yeah. There's a certain amount of expectation with a franchise like that, you know.
Now, apparently, opinion is split on Twitter as to whether this is a good thing or not. Mm-hmm. Some are like, God, Jesus, leave it, just let it lie.
Well, is it going to be like Scarlett Johansson and Tom Cruise, or?
Yeah. Any excuse to get Scarlett on the screen again, Mike. Yeah. The other thing is, Star Wars is back filming in Ireland. They started filming again today. They were put off yesterday with the weather.
Oh, I heard on Tashka were most unhappy about that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were saying down with that sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because apparently it was bad enough they got to film there the first time.
Oh, really?
But now they're coming back.
Oh, what's the problem? Apart from it being a UNESCO heritage site.
Yeah, the whole World Heritage Site thing seems to have got a bee in their bonnet.
What, did they leave like McDonald's wrappers and stuff on it last time? Or did they crash a Millennium Falcon into a seagull colony? Or, you know?
Went for Poodoo. It's probably Poodoo.
East Atlantic Puffin Colony, Steve.
Was probably a bit of Jedi mastership at work there or something.
Probably, yeah. But apparently even the cameras being on the island is already tainting the aura of the place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. There's probably some kind of Celtic god going to be summoned up.
Yeah, so you're ruining the energy, man.
Yeah. You're killing my Quan.
It's just not the same. Any news on your side of the Atlantic this week, Sean?
Yeah, I actually just noticed there as I was scrolling through my Facebook feed that NBC has cancelled one of their African American sitcoms and renewed the other.
Oh.
So Craig Robinson's show, Craig Robinson, you may remember from the movie The End and from The American Office. He was in every season. Had a show going, and that got 6 episodes, which finished airing last month, and they will not be returning. However, The Carmichael Show, which is going to be finishing its episode first season, has been renewed for a second one.
Wow.
Yay!
What, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't knock it, man.
Very good. Okay, let's get into the meat of things. Bloodsucking Bastards. Who's that? Mark, tell us about Bloodsucking Bastards. Do you remember what it's about?
I have no idea, Steve.
No, he doesn't. Okay. Mike, tell us.
Bloodsucking Bastards is Prince Oberyn comes to help,
God damn it.
help an office that is struggling to make sales. And he's got the whole Glengarry, Glen Ross thing going on. Super smooth, salesy type dude.
Rico Suave.
Yeah, big time. And there's just one small hitch in that people in the office, A, start disappearing, and B, start reappearing significantly exsanguinated.
Exsanguinated, nice word. Yeah.
You like that, did you?
Yeah.
And there's only a couple of people who figure out far too late that everything's gone tits up in the office, and it goes from there.
Yeah, I think we know what's going on from the trailer.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't hide much.
The
really,
title as well. Yeah.
So it's basically The Office with vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you think?
I was a bit disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. It was.
It's not horror.
No, it's not horror.
No.
But it wasn't comedy enough either.
Right. There were a few classic lines.
It was humanity, Mike. That's all it was.
I will give an honourable exception, though, to Frank, the security guard. I thought he was fucking brilliant.
Sir, yes, sir.
He just took his ever so standard role and just took it to a new level.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Of sir, yes, sirness.
Yeah. Affirmative, sir.
And it was like
Colonel.
Yeah.
Kept calling him Colonel Sanders. Yeah.
It was like he was relishing the whole cliche of everything that he was getting called on to do. Is that how can we make this even more standard?
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play to him to that.
Yeah, I found this entertaining.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't think I would like it, but I got a lot of laughs out of the dialogue. Was great, especially at the start before it all sort of kicked off.
Yeah,
where they're just such lazy, and they work in this kind of sales where they're selling like penis enhancements and all sorts of that kind of stuff that you get in spam.
It was called phallostrate or something.
Phallostrate or something like that.
Where can you get that?
Don't worry, Mark. We ordered a free sample for you.
Yeah. I'll send you some spam. There's loads of them. Yeah. So
true friends, you guys. True friends.
Always thinking of you.
But it was just hilarious. They'd be playing games while on the phone selling stuff and they just had a lot of very funny characters that lived in or worked in the office, nearly like Office Space.
Yeah.
But it was a bit more brought up to date. You can imagine like startups like that, small little companies and just barely stringing along, and they need to make a difference or change something, and so Rico Suave is hired. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's obviously very low budget.
There's maybe 3 rooms. No
yeah.
exterior shots.
There's no windows even, as they point out.
We can't afford windows.
And the whole let's say the gore bit is just cartoony, like almost Quentin Tarantino, more than Quentin Tarantino cartoon. It's just like explosions, cover the entire room, and it's quite funny, just the way it happens actually. But I enjoyed this. Yeah, I mean it's a low budget movie, and for the money they had, I think they did a great job. I thought the writing was kind of funny actually.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably been a bit harsh on it. It was funny in places. I'm just disappointed it wasn't a little bit more original.
Right.
Like the officey part was very officey.
Right.
And the vampire part was, there was nothing new in it to do with vampires. It was all bog standard, and once people became vampires, there was 1 or 2 guys where you could see the characters developed in funny ways and whatever, but a lot of them were just kind of brought in to add to the numbers or whatever. It's kind of you don't need to be in this movie, do you?
Yeah.
But I don't know, Sean, did you have a look at this?
I did. I thought so. I agree that it's definitely leaning into the genre. It's not trying to subvert expectations all that much. I mean, even the idea of having a bunch of slacker office people, sure, and then adding a supernatural element, even that isn't like particularly groundbreaking. But I thought that they weren't really. It was almost more. I felt that they were fine with being in their genre and using the tropes, and they were leaning into it. They were going, we love this awkward office romance. Yeah, we're going to make that as good of a thing as we possibly can. Like Fran Kranz, who played the guy who really wanted to be the sales manager. We've seen him in Cabin in the Woods and in Dollhouse. I've always liked his performances. I genuinely felt for the guy. He was going through a rough day. It was but, and I really thought it was hilarious when his buddies were giving him shit about how he reacted to his girlfriend telling him that he loved. It was just so good. That kind of stuff really got me going, even without any of the blood-sucking, exsanguination, etc.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I felt like they grounded their characters in modernity. Perhaps not necessarily reality, but in, what we see on TV about these worlds. And that was a good thing. I knew where I was. I was familiar with the world and the characters really quickly. The way that they introduced who I guess I'm going to have to call him Rico Suave. The way they introduced him and his backstory, that was great.
It's Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's in Narcos as well. He's one of the main characters in it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciated the brevity with which they just were like, you audience, you don't need to know everything. This is all you need to know. You're done. Cool. 30 seconds in, you know exactly who this guy is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. I was a big fan. It made me quite happy. It chuckled a lot. People stared.
Yeah. I don't really have any negatives on this. You know, it's not my usual fare. Vampires don't, you know, really light me on fire kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
So but I still really enjoyed it, and I'd give it a 7. Yeah.
Even though there was no Iranian subtitles, or
there was no subtitles. No, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was just fun, you know. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this, because you know it's fun, but it's not great. It's just fun.
Yeah.
So I'd give it a probably an all right 6.
All right, 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. John, do you want to give it a mark?
Yes, I do want to give it a mark. And I'm going to say what Mike said, but in a positive tone of voice. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Steve. I think that's a 7. If you're having a rainy day, which we are right now in Las Vegas, stick it on. It's on demand. You can find it.
Cool. Wow, it's raining in Vegas.
What? So when it rains in Vegas, do they like take a picture of it and just leave it up on a screen for the rest of the year? Or?
No, when it rains in Vegas, everyone forgets how to drive, and the roads all flood. So people sometimes have to just stop on the freeway, on the highway, and just wait. Because there's no drainage.
So why would we put drains in? Don't be ridiculous.
Okay, next up. We're going to talk first our TV, which is Hand of God. Mark? What did you tell us
Hand of God tells the story of a judge who seems to be in the middle of a psychotic break, I guess you call it. As the show opens, we see him in a fountain, naked. And we learn that his family has had quite a tragedy befallen them. His daughter-in-law was raped, and his son is on life support in the hospital. And I guess the story moves from there. It's about a father dealing with that tragedy in a slightly left-of-centre way.
Best thing about this? Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Best thing about anything Ron Perlman is in is that Ron Perlman's in it.
He's just got such a face, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's just such a great
Quite the
character.
jaw.
Yeah. And the brow.
I wonder did his mammy love it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like only a mammy could.
Yeah. Oh, little Ronnie, you have such a great face. Coochie.
So, Mike, tell us. Thoughts?
This
is an Amazon, sorry.
Yeah.
You were telling me about this during the week.
Yeah, this was... Do you remember that last year we were looking at a series of Amazon pilots?
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of them. Some of them disappeared. But this one made it through the process. It got enough positive feedback that they said, okay, we'll take this pilot and make a series out of it. Along with, incidentally, that other one we looked at, The Man in the High Castle.
Oh, this is the
one where the Nazis won the war. Yeah. That's coming out in November, I think.
Oh, so this is where Nazis and the Japanese split the US?
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains was the divide, so the Japanese got the west coast and the Nazis have the east.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that's nothing to do with Ron Perlman. When it started, you have Ron Perlman naked in a fountain talking gibberish. And I thought to myself, oh, I don't know about this. I really don't know about this.
I made a mistake.
Has Ron Perlman got moves? And this sense of caution stayed with me right through the episode. Despite the liberal sprinkling of very attractive females that, I thought was a casting masterpiece. But then when it gets to the last scene, they stick the hook in, and my mind started racing back through the episode, linking. And I thought, oh, that was kind of clever.
Yeah.
Fuck me, fair play.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of a 10-minute later sort of a show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Strange that we're having this conversation, because usually you explain stuff to me, but I guessed that very early on.
Oh, really? We should write this down.
I saw that coming a mile off, and I actually call it this. It's usually the opposite of the way things go. This is really weird, but I thought that I'm not going to say it because it's if you don't get stuff easily like Mike, then it's probably worth watching the episode. But so like if you have a friend like me who can explain this kind of stuff to you, then you're probably okay.
All the better. Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave the twist out because I don't want to spoil it. But there's a lot of tells that that's coming.
Maybe I was too busy watching all the attractive people in the show.
Possibly.
Do you know what? It's just good TV, right? So look, I predicted the end, so it didn't hit as hard to me as it might have otherwise done. But Mike, I think you were in the middle of a review there, and I just wanted to jump in because that might be the only chance in my life where I was smarter than you with anything. So I couldn't let it pass.
No, that's quite all right. Feel free to proceed, Mark. I'll jump back in once I've recovered from the shock of it.
Yeah, not as shocked as I am. So you've already mentioned that it was deliciously cast, and I know you were talking about the Fine Fillies, but I think the actual cast itself, they were all recognisable. Most of them have had shows of their own, in fact.
Yep.
At least the main cast have. Very well. The dialogue was really good. It was really punchy. Very few wasted lines. A couple of really good jokes thrown in. Like when the cops wanted to find a translator for tongues.
Oh yeah.
Particularly, and it was just unexpected. The use of humor was quite good. And there's a couple of other ones about him being born again. It keeps being funny, because it's really gritty, really serious tone for the most part. But every so often they break it with a bit of humor. So as you've already mentioned, the casting was excellent. I thought it was very well acted. Apart from the fact that, to me at least, they showed their hand a bit too early. I think it's well plotted, and they did enough in the pilot to make you want to wonder how it's going to turn out. And I think that's the job of the pilot right there. So I think they did it pretty well.
The one thing I would fear is that for people like Steve, the whole God thing might be a bit much. Like I enjoyed it. I like the whole Solomon reference and everything, because Ron Perlman, like if anybody was going to be a modern day Solomon, it would be Ron Perlman.
But it is called the Hand of God, though. So, surely people like Steve would just not watch it.
Yeah. Did Steve not watch it?
No, I did watch it. Well, look,
maybe that's our answer. Like you can hand it. Like
he seemed to get a hallucinogenic factor out of it. So fair play to him. Yeah, no, whatever. Yeah.
I just so fucking knew you wouldn't.
Yeah,
this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he's there. Ron Perlman's up there pretending for a living. I'll go along with it. Yeah, whatever. Go on, make your point.
No, we were just honestly interested to see inside the mind of a Steve who would, openly mock people's beliefs like that, and denigrate thousands of years of civilization and probably a great deal of human advancement.
Okay, let's just pump the brakes.
Yeah, this started off, like we said, with the fountain scene and so on, and I thought, oh Jesus, here we go. And you know what? I don't think I fully recovered from that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was a bit ropey, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I still don't think I fully recovered from it. It's nearly
Days later.
Nearly a week later, No, but no, I kept waiting for something to happen in this, and I kept going, okay, do something to keep my interest. Okay, he's running around, stuff is not really happening, and people aren't really, being nice to him.
Right.
Give him something for God, for God's sake. And but it just didn't happen. I was just, I know I was nearly done with the show. and then there was the last part of it, let's say, and I just sort of went, okay, I might give it an episode 2.
Right.
just to see,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But up till that, I was sort of, I was wading through it. I have to say,
Yeah.
Great cast,
Mhm.
great dialogue.
Yeah.
It's just story.
Mhm.
Yeah. So far, it's just it just didn't grab me.
What? I always forget her name. Ron Perlman's wife in the show.
Dana Delaney.
Dana Delaney. I thought she was brilliant in this.
Yeah.
She's just, she's got an evil about her.
Oh yeah.
You know, she comes across as your little prim, perfect wife or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the cover comes off and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a piece of work, aren't you?
It always come out.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see how she develops over the season.
Yeah.
I can see her putting a lot of hurt on people in a quiet and definitive way.
So you're obviously going to watch more of this.
Do you know, I think I might, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though, as I said, wasn't that sold on the opening. But now I think back and it's got enough to get it over the line. I'm going to see more of this, I think.
Okay. Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to watch more of this as well. It's just so well put together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's long, right? Each episode I think is an hour or more, but the time just flies in, and I don't think I can let this one go just yet, at least. So thriller for me.
Okay. Sean, did you see this?
I did. Yeah, well, even then, if it's on-demandiness, I did stop. I haven't gone the whole way through, but I'm definitely going to based on your guys' recommendations. I'm obviously more comfortable with very old men with man boobs in fountains than you guys are. Because at no point was I like, oh, I don't know. I was just like, okay, cool. Those are
I think
his
it was more
presents.
that it was
Okay.
Ron Perlman than anything.
Yeah. But you've probably always aspired to have man boobs in a fountain.
I don't know how to respond.
Out in front of season
I choose not to. No, I think it's a great show. It's very well put together in terms of everything I've seen in the acting, the editing, what they're doing with the characters. I don't know. I like people being crazy and doing stuffs. So that's good. I'm excited to see more about how that plays out in terms of interesting ways of doing character. It's not just character through action and character through dialogue. It's character through those things, and also character through crazy shit that you're not sure what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like 4 fillers. No, I'm only joking. So yeah, I think it's 4 thrillers for sure.
Well, I did not see that coming.
No, neither did I.
I thought this would be really divisive.
Well,
Yeah.
The Ron Perlman.
Yeah. That's the trump card, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It does raise the question, how the hell do they get such a good cast for a pilot that was only on spec? They said, we're doing this one episode. Maybe if they like it, we'll do the rest. And all these really good actors showed up.
Well, I'd say
Everybody wants to get in on the Netflix thing. Nobody wants to miss out on being Kevin Spacey in House of Cards. Nobody wants to go of the opportunity to have a show where you film it, and they all fucking go out in minutes, and then you go to another show on no one, I think, wants to miss out on the next wave of television.
Well,
good point.
I reckon they went and signed Ron first because he's coming straight off the back of Sons of Anarchy, kind of thing. And everyone, Ron Perlman, sign me, cancel, clear me,
clear the desk,
calendar for the next 3 years, please. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Next to our TV was The Witnesses. This is a French show, which has been compared quite a lot to Broadchurch, the UK show, in that I guess it's an investigation into murders, and it's set in quite a dreary Normandy-esque kind of part of France. And, sorry. What? Ah, Jesus.
No matter what.
Holy fuck. Holy
Man,
shit.
you gotta put that on the internet. right up there to the webcam.
What is it?
It's a big ass fucking
Look at the
spider.
size of
Check
that
that shit
boy.
out.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Got to put a warning in the intro.
What'd you say, Sean?
It's probably pregnant.
It's probably pregnant, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it outside. So Witnesses, set in Normandy. There's a show house, or sorry, it's not a show house. There's a house in quite a nice house, and someone comes home and they open the door, and there's 3 bodies in this house, and they're arranged like a family. And then we have a murder investigation, and that's the way it starts off. So, what do we think?
Just a point of order, just in case Shona is watching. She's going to call it late Tim 1.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. See, Shona, I'm always thinking of
She
it.
would do.
Yeah.
Fair play to you, Mike. You've got all the bases covered tonight. If you're not, getting free samples of erectile dysfunction medicine from me, you're making sure that we know the French word for this TV show for Shona. Like, sometimes you just give and you give.
I'm a modern day Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Anyway,
The good Lord's work.
Yeah.
the list of TV shows that we're going to review this week came out.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, there's 2 TV shows here. They both sound interesting. They both sound like our kind of thing. I said, one is called The Hand of God. The other is called Witnesses. I don't really have time to watch them both on my own. So do you fancy watching one of them with me? And she goes, yeah, put on Witnesses. That sounds like a murder thing. We like that sort of stuff. Stick it on. And she goes, no, hold on, wait.
Who picked it?
Who put that in the list?
Yeah.
And I said, well, Witnesses was Steve and Hand of God was Mike. Put on Hand of God instead.
Hey, thank you, Michelle.
So we watched Hand of God. She really enjoyed it. We're probably going to watch more. So I think Michelle knows the people on this podcast as well as our listeners do. But I watched, after she'd gone to bed, I stuck on Witnesses.
Yeah.
And I said, this is going to be great now. I said, came on and it built atmosphere really quickly. It drew me in. And I was interested straight away in what was going on in the bad guy's head.
Yeah.
I wanted them to do one of those thinking outside your brain things.
Yeah.
And this lasted for about 3 minutes, 15 seconds till the first line of dialogue was uttered, and I realized it was in fucking French. And I went, well, I'm going to be watching this, if it's any good, in a year in English with good-looking people. So back to you, Mike.
Wonderfully synopsized, Mark. Yeah, I started watching this, and within 10 minutes I thought, oh God, it's another detective girl who's really good at her job, who's going to save the world.
And it's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, a little bit on the edge.
Yeah.
And then that kind of stayed with me for a long time. But as the show wore on, you start to see just little things here and there that don't quite add up.
Yeah.
That perhaps indicate it's not just a standard detective show.
Yeah.
There's maybe a little hint of supernatural.
Did you think?
Oh yeah.
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 Really?
No, you?
A little bit, yeah. But
Yeah.
I didn't know if anyone else had sort of.
Yeah.
I thought it was just my vivid imagination running wild.
And that half a bottle of vodka you had before you watched it.
Watched it, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I thought the setting was brutally dreary.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it should be Scandic noir.
Yeah, like Northern France sucks ass.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
You might as well be in Belgium, for fuck's sake. Is there any other countries I can insult about it?
Sorry, Steve.
The actors themselves, I thought, did a decent enough job. I did like the head detective-y, out of retirement-y kind of guy. He's got a certain je ne sais quoi.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, he does, yeah.
And
yeah, he's really good, actually.
Yeah. He's got a good presence on the screen.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things that really annoyed me about this.
Yeah.
One was our lead detective's little perfect family thing going on.
Right.
That just screamed fucking backstory to me. I was like,
you know what? Yeah, I'm with you on that because
love you, babe. See you after work.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah, there was a certain scene in that, and you knew. There's the trigger for the whole drama for the season of the bit that we were
not interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah. And they didn't play too heavily on it. They only did a few minutes of backstory with the family, did a few minutes of that scene.
Yeah.
And so I was sort of like, okay, I'll let them away with it. But once it doesn't develop into like 15 to 20 minute scenes of drama that has no relation.
You know they're going to use at least 5 to 10 minutes per episode just to fill shit in. Like,
some have said that some people may say that this is. That they're trying to create a new series that is as popular as, say, Engrenage, Spiral, you know. But I don't think it's going to be that big. And I don't think...
Well, there's a distinct lack of redheads.
Yeah, for a start, yes, true. But because of this, because they, in Engrenage, the only people that were romantically involved, for the most part, are actually the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, side family thing. There was briefly, but it was very, very brief. So, but anyway, so I hope they don't go off on that tangent.
Yeah, like normally they make cops divorced because nobody's interested in their fucking families, you know. They just focus on the murder or whatever.
Yeah. So so what we don't need is distraction from what they're doing.
The thing,
yeah, we're watching it because it's like you say, Mark. It's a murder thing, you know.
Yeah.
That couples all around the world just want to watch. Yeah. We like murders. Let's watch this. Yeah. So I'm just hoping that
the family that slays together stays together.
Yeah. Sean, did you see this? Is Sean there? I think he may be on mute. May have abandoned this.
Not a jot.
Not a jot of this, okay.
Not a single iota of this, because I too had to make decisions with my time. And it wasn't because you put it up, Steve. It was just because it sounded like it was because you put it up, Steve. It had subtitles. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't watch it.
Okay, so anything else on this? Would you watch more of it?
Do you know, I think I might.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure until the end, but there was enough there to make me say kind of, I'd like to see how this pans out, yeah.
See, I'm with you on that, but you know, I haven't gone running back to it. Like I could have watched another episode this week.
Yeah.
Instead of watching season 2 of Bone Brown. Bone Brown. But I didn't. And that's kind of telling me that I didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. Like I will watch another episode at some stage. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
You know, so like Narcos, I ate it in 2.5 days.
Yeah.
10 episodes. You know, it's just oh my god, I can't do it. Yeah. So you know, it's obviously not up there in my opinion. You know, but that's not to say it isn't very good.
Yeah. Well, had it been just
more revealing, I think
had it been just another Broadchurch, I would have been with you and said, "No, fuck this.
Yeah.
Life is too short."
Yeah, but it does have a hook or two.
Well, I just want to know if it's supernatural or not.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not 100% clear.
Yeah.
But the implication is there.
Yeah.
And obviously, if there's supernatural in it, I'm fully in there. Like,
right.
Love that shit.
Yeah. Okay. So, 2 thrillers.
Strangely enough.
Yeah.
Hang on, if you're not watching anymore, how can you be a thriller?
No, I'll watch another episode.
Oh, okay.
What category are you in if you will watch it when it's translated into English and recast? Can I be like a future thriller?
Future thriller. Yeah, I guess.
A potentialer?
Okay. So, next up...
Steve, can I just ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
How do you find these shows?
How do I find them?
Do you Google foreign shows Mark might not be interested in?
If only that would work.
It might.
No, I tend to keep an eye on European TV shows. What's new and popular, and what's tipped to be good, and so on and so forth.
But is there a website that you can go to that tells you?
There's not one specific one, but there are many that you can sort of browse and
And are they in English?
Skim. Some of them.
So you're telling me that you go on a website, potentially not in English, to find a TV show or film that is itself not in English, to put on the list to force me to watch.
or
That's the highlight of his week.
or you can see what BBC 4 or Channel 4 may be scheduling for next year. That works too.
And then wait a year
Yeah, you
and
could
put
do.
that on the list.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for giving me the time, Steve.
Yeah. Actually, who's a Sky? Don't they show on some of their? Wonder, is it not Atlantic? It would be,
Sky Arts shows a
Is
lot
it
of
Sky Arts,
foreign
is it?
stuff, yeah.
are they showing Spiral or something at the moment?
No, but they were showing, what was that Italian one you liked?
Oh, Romanzo Criminale.
Yeah, that
No
was
way,
on
were
Sky
they?
Arts, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that came out on DVD on Monday, by the way.
Yeah?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. One of the best season or series I've seen. Okay. So, next up we'll have some previews. Come to Bicycle near you. First one was The Jungle Book. It's back.
Hey!
And it looks semi-live action,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
kind of weird.
Is it
Sort of.
sort of Toy Story live action realistic thing?
Is it? It's not a cartoon, is it, or is it like a Pixar thing?
It's not
or-
like the Jungle Book cartoon, but it's very lifelike looking.
Yeah. Animatronic is the wrong word, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know what to call it.
yeah. Well, it's animated, like semi-animated. I don't know.
It's like they took film and then fucked with it to make it like a cartoon.
So we took film to make this movie, and we fucked with it. And this is and this is the result. I hope you like it. Yeah. So all the characters that we know and love from the original are in there, and it's voiced by Scarlett Johansson is the Snake. Snake.
Viper.
Viper Snake. And who else is in there? What's his name? Ghostbusters.
Bill fucking Murray.
Bill fucking Murray. He's in there as well. And yeah, a few other big names. So yeah, looks good. The trailer looks good. And you know what I noticed? There was no musical numbers throughout the whole trailer until the very, very end, where you can hear the bear whistling, the bare necessities.
Yeah.
And that's it. Whereas the Disney one is like, it's the music.
Yeah, it's all about
it's all about the tunes.
Yeah. I am kind of surprised they remade this. It being Rudyard Kipling, who is pretty unpopular in terms of his imperialist views.
Yeah.
But I suppose Rudy. But I suppose people have obviously thought that the story goes beyond the author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Disney bought it, did they? Yeah. I don't know who bought
it. Yeah. I just thought I'd get that dig in about preparing to give a shit about the
world. But it looks really good. It looks really impressive. Actually, that's what I really noticed about it. It's the wow factor. Like, oh God, I can't remember his name. The orangutan. Like when the orangutan walks out of the shadows, you're like, holy shit, that's the size of it.
Is it musical?
That's the thing. I'm not sure yet. The only hint at it is the very, very end where the bear's whistling the bare necessities. The first line of the chorus, let's say. Yeah. But apart from that, it's all like action. Mowgli? No,
Mowgli.
Mowgli was the gremlin, wasn't he? Mowgli was jumping from tree to tree and being confronted by big...
Could you imagine if there was gremlins in this movie? That'd be so cool.
But yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I kind of am looking forward to this.
Yeah. I think I might even go as far as watching it.
Yeah. So that's coming up soon. What's next? James White.
Well, I am interested, but the question about the musicality needs to be answered, I feel.
Maybe they
We'll need another trailer
we
to
need trailer
answer
too.
that.
Yeah.
Am I the king of the jungle? Whoa, a jungle VIP?
That is the one, isn't it?
I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me.
What was your man's name that we used to sing? Don. What's his name? The Irish guy. Nah, fuck it, doesn't matter. Next one was James White. This is kind of an odd one, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Is it about a guy who wants to find himself and can then go back and help his mother, who's very, very ill?
I think his mum is on her way out, and he decides the best way to help her is to fuck off and get wasted.
That's kind of what it looks like, isn't it?
And then somehow this resolves the issues.
Now I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Now I can come back and deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This looks like shit.
It looks like, it does, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah. I might. I need another trailer, I think, to make up my mind. So
Yeah.
it does look kind of crappy.
Yeah.
And the last one we saw was Our Brand is Crisis or Crises.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock and William H. Macy.
And Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yes, is it Billy Bob still?
Oh yeah, the bald head.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's not William H. Macy. Yeah, it's Billy Bob. So yeah, there is somewhere in South America, and they're helping a president become president or a candidate become president, and he's way behind, and they do pull some tricks and get him ahead. I think it's based on a true-ish story.
Inspired by
true events or real events or something like that. But it doesn't look too bad. It looks a little bit House of Cardsy.
Yeah.
But it looks all right. It's kind of El Presidente, and actually there's a couple of bits where the comedy is really that they're lost in translation, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that was quite fun.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't watch this except for the actors in it.
Yeah.
Because I love Billy Bob and I love Sandra.
Yeah.
And I'd say the two of them will feed off each other very well.
Yeah.
Because they both have a kind of funny streak in them.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
So you like Sandra Bullock and Billy, merge them together. Billy Bob Bullock. The ultimate actor. Like Sandra.
Bullock.
Billy Bob Bullock. Yeah. So, that was the last one. That's it for this week, I think. We should mention that we got to the semi-finals of the Web Awards.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, that's right. Yeah. Who knew? Yeah.
Oh.
So, yay us. Still not in the finals, so we're still in the loser category.
If you ain't first, you're last.
So listen, tweet us or pop us a message on Facebook or email us at podcast@isitabicycle.com and send us insults, abuse and feedback. Yeah.
And donations to my Swiss numbered account.
And we'll give you a shout out next episode. Alright, so from Mike, Mark, Steve and Sean, stay classy.